if we want to be good witnesses, if we want to be able to tell people about Jesus, it's not going to happen by accident. We have to be prepared. I love the way that Peter puts this in 1 Peter 3:15. He says, always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect. I think that a lot of times what we end up doing is we're just very haphazard. We don't apply ourselves to a lot of training, and so when the time comes for us to say something about Jesus, we're simply not prepared. And Peter's actually addressing that. He's saying, I want you to be prepared. Be prepared to answer. Be prepared to tell people about Jesus. Train yourself so that when those circumstances happen, you're ready, and that you can actually say something meaningful about Jesus. And we were talking about this idea that the gospel itself, the euangelion, the announcement of the good news, has a bunch of dimensions. It doesn't just have one dimension. The New Testament uses 5 primary metaphors, and we talked about having those in your back pocket, that you and I are familiarizing ourselves with this, and we're going to be going through these 5 metaphors the next 5 Sundays. But to be prepared is to be able to say, hey, this is what's going on. This is the felt need of the person that I'm talking to that I can deduce by talking to them. And so in gentleness and respect, I can employ adoption, this belonging and worth that the Father has for you. I can employ this message of redemption, that God frees slaves, this message of justification, that our legal indebtedness with God has been canceled because of the work of Christ. I can talk about union with Christ and everything that comes with being united with Him, and our inheritance and the familyness that comes from that. I can talk about new creation, that that I was dead. I mean, I was living death, and now I'm not. And you don't have to be in this living death place anymore, that God will give you a fresh start. These are things that we need to have sort of kneaded into our souls so that we can pull them out with the person as they are needed, not just as a canned package, but because we care about them.